All right. Welcome again to another wonderful stream here on the Chaos Reign channel. As you know, I am the one and only Chaos Reign here, like always. And today's stream is going to be something that has to be examined thoroughly. And I can't do this alone, as y'all know. And what's good, Charles? See you. Check your Facebook, bro. That I can't just keep this all to myself. I had to share this, and I had to need some real hitters out here. Some real actual men that are older than me that are way more experienced to really have an examination of this BFF at best, if you know what I mean. So, no further ado, and hold on, let's go do this quickly. There we go. And one more. I have to make sure the links are out. Okay. So, I have some better. Nice. Let me see if this pops up. There we go. Y'all gonna like this one. Oh. Hold on. I'm just gonna introduce one of my special guests here. I just gotta find his one and only music. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, I did find it. Let me back up. Yep, this is the one. Let me rewind back one time. Hold on, rewind back one time. There we go. And now, as I introduce for the first time here on the Chaos Reign channel, the one and only El Guapo.
What's good, Chaos Reign? Salute and salutations. What's good to you and your team, man? How's everything going?
What's good? But wait, I have something interesting for people to hear.
Let's do it.
Beautiful lies. You don't know what you're
doing. Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I have to do it. Got to do it, man. It will be unfitting and uncivilized if I didn't do that,
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
For those that's not familiar, if you want to give a short introduction to yourself, El Guapo, for those that are not knowing too. Mm-hmm.
Sure, I would love to. Good evening, everyone. My name is El Guapo, and welcome to my classy Checkmate studio. I run a channel called Beautiful Lies. And what we do is we focus on all things leadership and mentorship. And we really try to debunk a lot of these beautiful lies that are out here that are keeping people stagnant and not growing in life, keeping them enjoying that that verbal soul food for your
Let
ears
us
that's
bring
not healthy. You good?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Scott,
all good, man. But yeah, man. So we're doing the Lord's work over here. You know, one viewer, one subscriber at a time. And you know, Chaos Rain has been my dude since I first started the channel back in April. And he's really looked out for me. So any chance that I can work it in my schedule, man, he called me, or I called him today, and he said, hey, let's jump on. I got something to talk about. So you see, I'm wearing my Ravens gear. The game's going to start in a little bit, but I was like, let me give my man a few minutes, man, you know, and come and check out what he's got going on.
Excellent. And like always, you know, I tell people many times, you know, I don't do normal breakdowns or reviews of certain contents of any nature, but when I see the content and I hear what's being out there, and I not the first time I've done this, a few times, and I'm hoping that Charles Faulkner comes up in the stream, that this is something that we have to look at, because this does affect a lot of us men, you know.
Yes, it does.
One of the few things, as you know, from the title, as you see in the description I laid out onto the stream, is that I covered Miss Mason maybe a month ago, maybe two, when she already initiated that she's no longer doing the dating advice for modern women, modern Black women especially, because she said out her mouth that these women don't want to be better women or do what's necessary to get just a constructive man, a man that's doing something, you know. They want something greater, bigger. Like, men are in abundance, especially men that are very valuable.
Right.
And we all know how nature works. That's not the case, you know. So if there's not much abundant men, what you should do? Well, always you deal with the man that's doing what he should be doing. Now, if he's on a greater path, you could probably play that helpmate to assist him further, like anything else. But other than that, you know, you should not be investing time on. We talk about. I don't talk about as much, but I'll say, a man that is not being constructive. He's not even making an attempt to better his mind. At least work ethics, working, then you're putting the hours or doing something. He should not be the one you should invest in time. We as men agree with this. You get me? And
I do agree.
There are some men out here in this Western world, but it is your role as a woman that if you choose this dude and you stay with him, that's your boo. So, no further ado. I have the man right now in front of me. So I introduce you, El Guapo, my good friend here, Charles L. Faulkner Jr. Charles? Oh, as he has mic ready.
Whoa!
Woo!
Woo! What's up, Big Charles? How you doing, boss?
What's up? Go Ravens.
That's right, baby. That's right. That's right. You working tonight?
Oh no, I'm watching this game. I'm just waiting for the waiting for the delivery to come in. I need them to shut some people up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, real fast. Hey, Chaos. It's just Baltimore to Baltimore. Look, hey, Charles, have they announced is Lamar playing tonight?
I think he's playing tonight because I think they said it. So I was impressed with the backup last week.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Harbaugh's fourth time winning without Flacco or Lamar.
Yep.
So it tells you how, like, to me, if Lamar was there last week, it would have been like a run-up score.
Yeah, it would have. Well, real fast, Charles, you know, I'm new to these YouTube streets, but I've known about you, you know, from one Baltimore brother to another. Salute to you, man. You know, I'm up here near Morgan State. So
I'm over there by University of Baltimore, around the corner from it, literally.
Okay.
So you know where Artscape be happening. I literally know
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
I could literally walk to Artscape.
So, yeah, man. Well, I'm not drinking right now, but once I come off of this health kick, man, we'll have to grab a beer, bro.
Of course, some good old cognac and cigars.
That's right. That's right.
I'll
I'm a
take you to
Scotch
a nice.
guy, but yeah, I'm with you.
I drink Scotch as well. But, you know, I'll take you to a nice cigar shop. You know, fire and smoke up there on a Loch Raven.
Let's do
And
it.
it's funny because last week, I do have to address this last week. I know there was a lot of naysayers who wanted to talk about black on black violence and crime.
Mm-hmm.
And when I debunked it thoroughly, because I told a lot of people since tonight I'm going to have a live stream after the game.
Okay.
Oh,
anybody who has any smoke, I'm going to come and bring fire and incinerate your ass. I told you, every homicide is automatically an aggravated assault. If white people have over almost 100,000 more aggravated assaults, how do we still produce more murders? Because something doesn't add up right. You would think, okay, we would have higher aggravated assaults.
Yeah.
Right.
Since they claim we commit more murders. And you're like, wait a minute. You just looked at the Gal Rittenhouse trial where he killed 2 people and shot 1. It's neither classified as an aggravated assault or homicide or murder. It's actually as a justified murder. So a lot of times when you have the ability to finagle the stats, guess what you could do? You could say, well, they commit more murders. When you look at Amber Geiger, when she kicked in that door to that guy, that was murder.
Yeah,
that should have been classified as manslaughter. That was murder.
Yeah.
So I like to say this officially: all you naysayers and ne'er-do-wells and evildoers, 1, go fuck yourselves, and 2, dismiss me with that bullshit.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. All right. All right. So now, no further ado, we're going to run through this. This is like, I think, roughly 30 to 40 minutes. And anytime you guys want to stop and debunk or chop up anything, please do. You know, I might do so, but at times, if we go through as thorough as possible, we'll make it out for the Ravens start at 8:30. Possibly. So, but
8:15, 8:20. Just letting you know.
Okay.
All
but no further ado, let us begin.
The April Mason. Shout out to April. How are you doing? I see you in the back here, but I don't see your. Let me pull you back up and add you again. Let me add you.
Yeah, guys can hear, right?
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
To the stream. I don't know. Can you hear me, April? I see you back here, but for some reason, I don't see it's all black on the screen. I don't know if you want to come out and then try to come back in again. I will drop the link if you do, or if you can open up another instance in here. Let me try to kick. I don't want to do that. Let me see how we're doing. Struggle streaming already, guys. All right, I'm gonna drop.
Let me see if I can fast forward it. Oh, there she is. Okay. Let me fast.
What's going on? I have my YouTube app on and the live stream. I mean the link. Okay, so we should be good now. Let me run in this area.
No problem.
That's good right
and
there.
While
that's
you are getting yourself in all this beautiful light, let me kind of pull up what kind of set this off in the beginning, right? This kind of set it off at the beginning, right? What we were looking at.
Oh, I forgot the title for today's stream. My apologies. Is Fix My Plate, Chick, Dark Femininity, Falsification. Let everybody know, for those listening. Let's begin.
And how you were talking about you had been helping women for over 10 years and some of the things that you had encountered. But, you know, we can read this on our own time, but I want to maximize the time that we have here with you. Kind of tell us firsthand about your experience. Some of my audience doesn't know who you are. Can you give us a little background about who you are, what you've been doing for Black women for so long, and then kind of the things that you've seen as time has gone on, some of the problems that you've encountered?
Well, one of the thing is I have been I started out. It's interesting how I got into the dating space. I believe that God gives gifts to who He chooses, and I just happen to be one that can hear the male and the female. And normally, when there's a conference, all male conference, April April Mason is normally on the panel of men because I can translate what the men are saying to the women and what the women are trying to say to the men. So it was just a gifting that happened. And I started seeing how we were shifting. So see, I'm one of those people that believe that. Wait, I don't even know your first name. What's your first name?
Just Lead. You can call me the lead attorney.
Okay, Lee. So, Lee, what happened was I started noticing how we as women started to become
your audio sounds great. If you could stay right there.
Right there? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, stay right here.
I love her shirt.
I noticed that as women, started to become the type of men that they were seeking. And what happened was wait.
Let me just pause that for a second, because that's deep. You just said it like it was nothing, but hold on. You're saying women started to become the men that they were seeking.
Yep. See, this is how many years have I said this? I had to tell a lot of women, you know, if you want to be treated like the queen, stop trying to be the king.
Yeah.
What you're doing is counterproductive to getting a man. I don't give a fuck about your degrees. What men care about is how you look and how you treat us and how you respect us when we have company. Okay? Even when nobody's there, how do you treat me? Are you an asset or are you a liability? But go ahead.
All right.
And that's deep, right?
Yes. And so what happened was I was never raised in the strong, independent Black woman, household. That was not me. My mother, actually, it was the other way around for me. My mother actually married a man that could not honor her femininity. So what I did in turn was I went extremely hard because I'm like, man, this fool, he played her. He did not treat her right. And my mother, I thought she was passive, not realizing she was what a feminine woman is. She just married a man that was not equipped to handle what came with that type of a woman. So I used to look at my mom as really soft at first, right? Until I got to my own understanding of what was actually, going on. So with that, I started getting into the dating space. My very first YouTube video on dating and femininity was back in 2010 or 11. So when everybody said, you the female this, you the female, no, I'm the only April Mason. I've been in this for a very long time. No comparison needed. Let us all have our own platforms. But what happened was I started to notice that women were more and more successful in business, but they couldn't get a quality date to save their life. So I started a matchmaking service back in 2012, baby. I closed it in 2013 because the expectations were so unreal. And what was happening was women were thinking, they were looking at themselves and they weren't doing a panoramic view of themselves. It's equivalent to when I was married, and I got married in my 20s and divorced in my 30s. And I didn't realize that I was in a bad marriage until one day, or that I was depressed until one day, Lee, I actually walked in Walmart and I walked across the mirror, past the mirror, and I'm only 5'3", 5'4".
That's how we love them over here. We love the short women over here. We don't like the 5'10".
Yes, good.
So I don't want this point to get away.
Okay.
Where she's talking about a lot of the women. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I lived in Atlanta for a decade, right? From 2010 to 2020, beginning of 2020. So I'll tell you the truth. If she thinks it's bad in Atlanta, come to Baltimore. The further up the East Coast you go, the entitlement gets worse. You still have some of that Southern belle in a lot of the women down there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you the other part of the truth. This is what I see. Ron Wills talks about the select men, right? So we're born the way we're born. We're born with the height we got. We can get in the gym and hit it hard and, had them pythons like Charles got and all that stuff, man. But height, I didn't realize that height mattered as much as it does until I got out of my first marriage, man. And so I've been 6'2" since I was like 16, 17 years old, right? And I've heard my buddies talk about it that may not be 6 foot plus, right? But these rules that these women have and these expectations are really not for the the guys that are in the upper echelons of certain categories, you know, that are in the top percentiles of wealth, of looks, of height, and stuff like that. So it's interesting. She says that, you know, these women wanted all those things. I'm going to tell you the truth. My experience down there was, you know, I didn't have any problems. That was just me, though. But I realize it's an issue. And the reason I'm making this point is the fact that, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that she's doing, these women are even lying to April. They definitely are. They're sitting there telling her what she wants to hear. But the truth is, they will go and lay down with the guy they find attractive in a heartbeat. I can tell you right now, it got to the point in Atlanta that I didn't even have to take women out.
Thank you.
I could meet them online, invite them to the crib. It says in the profile how tall I am, what I did for a living. They come on through. And I had of the women that actually came through now, because they didn't all come through, but the women that actually came through, I had like a 60-70% close rate on that first encounter with them. So I hear what she's saying, but that doesn't apply to everybody, which just goes to the psychology of how these chicks really think. My humble 2 cents.
I see.
I'm going to say this. I'm in a similar boat. Don't sell me something that you didn't make the first guy pay for. Okay? Mm-hmm. Don't come to me and say you can't find a quality guy when black women are like black men. They're just like men. They look for the attraction first, all the other qualities second. If you notice one thing, a white chick will marry a guy who's not that, or date a guy who's not that physically appealing. She's more worried about the long run when they're worried about, when you look at black chicks, so many of them are worried about the short term. Can he fuck? How he look? How's his hair? What skin tone he has? Stuff that's not really important. And then they wonder why they're having babies in unsuccessful relationships.
Yeah.
So, like bro said, they lie. Women lie. When you dig deep, I'll give you a quick example. I was dating a chick this year, and we all know, shit, I was even with my foot in a boot and fractured and had surgery on my foot and ankle, I still was pulling them like growing muscles. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait a minute, your son's father, you kept bugging him to get his son. Now he has a son. Now you feel like you're the wayward woman, but you asked for this. And I had to ask something. Wait a minute, he's married, and he has 2 other kids by his wife. Mm-hmm. So, did he ever propose to you? No. Did he ever thought about marriage? No. So, you were never marriage material. Y'all were just fucking. Mm-hmm. But you would lie and say it was him being abusive, him doing this. Come on, something's got to give. But I'll let you continue.
Before I continue, one thing I caught my attention that her upbringing, her mother was a submissive, very much feminine woman. And I'm thinking, because Abraham Mason is born in 1975, that because your mom lived in a certain time and era, she was very fortunate because she understands and knows how to keep a man at the time. Knowing the man that she gotten for a reason was very lucky, but himself did not understand what he had. So obviously, like 9 times how you gonna find some man that's gonna abuse that type of woman in a way, not much in a way, but he doesn't know what he has, and that's expected because not all men are created the same, gentlemen. You get me? That means that as a woman like herself, that means you should be carrying yourself a certain way. But people understand as I play further, and keep in mind what she said. I want y'all to keep in mind when y'all go back to this. So when you hear further into this, you're going to see her actual outcome as a woman now.
Yeah, I'm awesome. A shorty. Mm-hmm. I'm a shorty over here. Normal license say 5'4", but I walked past the mirror and I noticed I had got up to a size 16. Now, mm-hmm. all my life I've been a size 6'8", even now. Mm-hmm. But it goes to say that's what I start seeing with women. They weren't realizing what was going on with them. See, I wasn't in tune enough with me to realize, April, you're not wearing jeans anymore. You're wearing jeggings. You know, you're not looking at, you're wearing a medium, small, you used to wear a small, medium shirt, but now you're wearing an extra large and a 2X. So what we do is we still hold that image of ourselves as we want to see us, but we don't realize we're not as dope as we think we are.
Right.
And so I had to take a moment and say, wait a minute. And I can say this about myself. April, you become what I call a lard ass, is what I have become. And I said, okay, what do I need to do to shift this? I needed to get a divorce because I should have never been married in the first place. And I needed to learn how to love myself more so that when it was time for me to remarry again, I could choose a better partner. So that's how I really got really heavy into this work, because I actually went through it.
Yeah.
And so, except from the strong part, I didn't come from a bunch.
Yes.
Bullcrap, man. That is absolute bullcrap. You need to divorce your husband. See, man, as a man that's been divorced twice, that is a crock. That's just a crock, man. You know, like, you make a commitment. I don't know, man. I have a serious issue with women that are so cavalier in leaving their marriage. A lead attorney and I have not, you know, that's my dog, but we have gone and butted heads on this topic, and I get his perspective because he's coming from the legal realm, but I hate no fault divorce. I think it's terrible. I really do. That you can just dissolve something that you're supposed to be locked in, you know. Forget about the religious aspect for a second, okay? And just think about the fact that, hey, you know, when you get married, think about I'm about to do it. You know, Charles, I don't know if you know this, but I have a Colombian fiance sitting downstairs right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. And we, you know, we're going through the process of getting the prenup together and everything, you know. But there's so much interlocked when you get married that for you to tear that apart because you walk by the mirror in Walmart and realize you're a lard ass. What the hell is that? That just is ridiculous to me, man. So this is the one thing when I previewed this chaos that I was like, yo, that right there is complete and utter BS. I agree with a lot of what she has to say, but that crap, no. Chaos. I need to, I'm not going anywhere. I keep getting buzz from work. I'm going to drop the camera, but I'm still here, man. Let me make this call real quick.
Go ahead. Do you think? I'm gonna continue playing.
I think a lot of it's just BS for a lot of women to not be wives properly. That's what it basically boils down to. But go ahead and play.
All right, let me continue playing. And make sure you guys hit the like and share the stream, please. Thank you.
Independent women like that. I came from more of the feminine woman household, although, you know, I had maybe one or two aunts that was a little but overall, my overall upbringing was with more of the feminine energy woman that I looked at as something being weak, not realizing they just chose the wrong men to choose to cover them. The men that they chose could not cover them. And so for me, when I quit, well, me quitting was 2 years in the making. And I'll tell you this. Over the last 2 years, although, you know, people say, why would she close if she was, you know, making money? No, it's very lucrative. Put it like this. I'm going to keep it at 1,000 with you. If you ever want to make a lot of money, join the dating industry and give women fluff. You see,
Derrick Jackson. We all know Derrick Jackson making bank.
I mean, it's not, because you got to remember, these women, a lot of these women, not all, of course, when I say these women, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking from an experience of over 10 years of this. Wow. So I've dealt with them from all different ranges, you know? So it's safe to say, for me to say, that when women came to me, they didn't come to me to become better. They came to me for a better, for access to a better penis. That's what they came to me for. So me.
And they should, because in their like psychology, men are free. And not only free, let's be honest. You give them what they call tease and crumpet, and you send them off to the circus. So I hope y'all guys didn't miss that in the chat room with those who are going to be listening to this. That this is why the so-called mating and dating market, where a lot of people that want to entertain it, You can make a lot of money, and if you focus primarily on women and tell them the BS, you get all the money. Do y'all know of many content creators telling women what they want to hear? Aren't they getting the traction, the views, and potentially money for telling women what they want to hear? Isn't that the same game going around right now as we see in society? And we understand why society right now, as we see, is stagnant. Just for food for thought. But let me continue playing.
One of my best friend told me, he said, April, you're going to have to disconnect or divorce yourself from their results. But I'm like, nah, man, because this worked. It worked for me. It worked, you know, because I'm all excited. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Girl, if you get yourself right, you do this, become the feminine woman for you first. The man is the byproduct. The man is not the reason why you're here. He is the byproduct. If you do these things, you know, you're not in a hurry to get married.
Yeah.
And so people would always ask me, how do you do what you do when you're not married? I said, because I am a walking example of what I teach. See, women, people think that the man is the validator.
All right, pause.
This is the reason why she ended up quitting, because she knew she was building a whole generation of failures. Men give women purpose. It's not the other way around. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When we come out there and we're the ones who have to build, you're vying for our last name, our wealth, our children. We're not vying for yours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to say, maybe you were just a lousy wife.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were a lousy wife. Okay?
Yeah.
Maybe you were just lousy. You're putting that old men are the byproduct. No, you are the byproduct. What do women make the world go round? This is why you're miserable. This is the reason why you're miserable. This is the reason why you're failing. But continue.
I'll continue. Okay. Now, see, please hit the like button, guys. I'm not checking the chat room. I really want to focus on the subject here. So I'm continue.
Although I love you guys, I love a man, just the way y'all walk and how y'all smell and just all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're the byproduct. See, women would think or question me, she don't have a husband, because I wasn't supposed to have a husband while I was going through developing who April was. If I would have remarried during that time, I would have been divorced again.
Let me go back though. Let me jump up, because that sounds deep. I've never heard anybody say that. When you say men are the byproduct, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Okay, sure. What I mean by men is the byproduct doesn't mean that we don't need you. What it means is when you become a dope woman for yourself first, the type of man that you want will easily come along. So the man is the byproduct of you becoming a dope woman. You don't become a dope woman for the man. And so that's why a lot of men say, well, when I got with her, after I got her locked in, she changed. Yes, because she only was that to get you. She did not become that. So in my dating academy, I use teach me how to date as.
What she's saying right there, a lot of guys might disagree, but I agree with her 110%. You got to make the change for real. You can't do that whole cloak and dagger subterfuge thing. You got to actually be that in your real life. You've heard of the chameleon thing when it comes to the majority of women, right? This is true. Eventually the chameleon is going to have to change his colors back. You know what I'm saying? And so to actually become the right type of woman, I don't necessarily like the way she's saying it, but hey, women don't like the way that Kevin Samuel says stuff. So I get it. The message is spot on. Women actually need to make the change themselves and be feminine. Otherwise, they're doing that conditional femininity, that conditional submission, which is what do they call it? Respectable cooperation and stuff. Yeah. So you actually do have to make that change as a woman. For real. It can't just be surface level. So I agree with April on that.
And the one thing, if people didn't pay attention, you hear it always from modern women. They said, I'm selected with the submission. And saying, okay, That's cool. So I mean, as men could play the same thing. So we could be selective in regards to certain roles, like paying certain bills.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand. It goes both ways. But you see, this society and this first world nation that is constructed for actual women, now that if we want to have this conversation, that it gives them the delusion to operate and move as nothing, and things are just going to come free from the sky, and that you don't have to do much to get a better outcome. And that's not how things work. You know, and I see somebody wrote something in the comment section. To be acculturate before. Yeah, I agree. But let's continue playing. We got 30 more minutes of this.
The bait. That was the sugar to get them in there. Women that actually did the work in my dating academy will tell you my whole life changed. My money changed. How I got that promotion on my job. So I just had to use the man as the bait to get them to know themselves better, because women aren't doing that for real. Yes, women are going to more conferences. Yes, women are picking up more, books to read, but they're not doing the hard work to transform. It's difficult to go through the emotional pain that come with change. I had to realize I wasn't as dope as I thought I was. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. But that was on the outside. Your end result will always tell you how dope or how dope you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let me ask you, because when you said men are the byproduct, because the more dope a woman becomes, maybe the better the man that she can pull can be. Like, I resonate with that. I think I like that. But then when you kept going, you were talking about women making money more on their job, women getting these promotions, and that's where a lot of men would be like, well,
okay, let me explain that.
Okay.
Before she explains, as you know, TLAs always keep pushing there. What do you mean by byproduct? Like, this man is a special. Was he a tool? And that's why she has to be very selective with her words. If you notice, El Guapo, Yeah. And you mute yourself, so I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I caught that. I absolutely caught that. And I'm going to tell you what. She lead is. I'm very careful when I'm on his channel. Very careful, because he is a master of paying attention and picking apart what you have to say. I took are you familiar with the term seer when it comes to like survival training in the military?
I think I know it's my first time hearing it. If you want to give me some detail, I'm free to listen. Go ahead.
Okay. Survival, escape, resistance, and SERE, survival, escape, resistance, and evasion. So at the Air Force Academy, they took out the resistance training because there were they did like mock violations, which could happen if you were caught behind enemy lines and stuff like that. And there was a huge scandal before I got there, right?
Okay.
But they replaced the resistance training with anti-interrogation training. And we got into stuff like indoctrination and things like that. Some real I can't talk too much about it, but what I'll tell you is this: I recognize what Lead does. I recognize it, and man, he will slow walk you right to the edge of the cliff and then give you a little shove off. He'll let you walk yourself right down, look you in your eyes while you're not paying attention to where you're going. And he did it to Glendon Cameron. He killed Glendon Cameron, bro.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. So you're absolutely right. She definitely has to pick her words carefully with the Lead. I gotta pick him, because I know Lead he'll come. It's like he's waiting for that power meter in Street Fighter to build all the way up so he can hit you with that ultra. You know what I mean? So yeah. Lead is I think he's probably the best in the game when it comes to this, to slow playing people to their demise.
Yeah. That's why if you look at, but remember, he's a 20-year attorney, and remember his first degree was in English before he started changing careers to become
a lawyer. Say that. Yeah, he did.
And see, one thing people don't understand, he's trained understanding and hearing people and picking anything. But remember, he has to be very tactical. He has to be very insightful to what this person's saying and have to really stress the issue, what you really mean by this. Just like it being like interrogated, like the court said, and that's how lawyers play out. They've been doing this for decades. Same with Suzette. When she was on the Lee Attorney's channel. You get me? That y'all guys don't understand. This is what we're trying to do. So you think that I'm attacking, I'm not. Especially doing with another person that's in the field. You get me? So, but anyway, let's continue playing.
I'll explain it to you. So this is what I mean. A woman, I teach living a feminine lifestyle. Living a feminine lifestyle means even when you go to work, your energy is more, you're dominant in the feminine, not necessarily the masculine all day. So although we have several family businesses and I'm the CEO of a couple of them, and then I have a 27-year-old daughter and my 25 and 23-year-old sons, they run the business with me as well. However, I intentionally only give 10 to 15% of my masculine energy to my business every day.
Mm-hmm.
That means I'm allowing myself a cap so that I can make sure that I am not throwing myself as in the masculine energy as my dominant. There's nothing wrong with a woman being successful at all. It's how she operates in the energy of her success.
Right. Do you think there's a risk in becoming successful? For example, let's just take a quick look at what you were saying that you're starting to see a lot more. You were saying, well, however, the majority of women that come to you have unrealistic expectations. Then you were saying the selfishness, fake everything. They think they should be chosen because they have a vagina and for the good looks. The entitlement, just not knowing the difference between being a woman and a wise woman, not knowing how to be versus do, thinking that being a feminine woman is weak or a pick me, placing blame and not taking responsibility or accountability for the choices that they've made in men. And do you think that this is also a byproduct of women becoming more dope? Now they're saying, hey, well, I can now have expectations that are higher, maybe to the extent that they're unrealistic. Maybe I don't want to take blame for anything because I'm so dope. Do you see this as a risk of being more dope?
It's only a risk when women use those things as their validator. See, I teach the complete opposite. See, my success, like everybody was like, oh my God, I saw you at the Rick Ross Boss Up conference. You were like right in the front. How did you paid 25 grand to get into the room, right? Yeah, I did. I was one of like 5 women out of maybe 40, 50 men. My resources got me in the room. The feminine woman kept me in the room. 2 different things. Right. So a woman can be successful, and I advocate for women to be successful because
Hey, pause that. Yeah, that she's making a great point. And this is what Kevin Samuels talks about. Like, women, you have to pay to get around these men that you want. That's exactly what she just said. That's exactly what she just said.
And see, I like to say something to that.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry.
One, you got to be pretty enough.
Yeah.
Your currency is your beauty. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. Your femininity keeps you there. Here it is. The problem with April is that you have a product where people paid for your expertise. She truly didn't understand her clientele. She clearly went through every time you hear her, or what's the other one? Yala Van Zandt and the other dating coach.
Yep.
Their expectations are greater than their fucking appetite. They want men that are greater than the men they qualify. You can't say the man is the byproduct when you're going for his name, his wealth, his resources, his protection. We don't rely on women to protect us. Let's just put that out there. We don't rely on it. Yeah, you're going to have to pay the cost of faith. I'm sorry. If women really want to say they are the prize, then you're going to have to ante up and kick out those goddamn diamonds. You're going to have to do something to get the benefits you want. What do you do for him? What asset can you bring? If I was dating April, That's your money. What the hell are you gonna do for me? Are you gonna put me in positions? Or are you gonna, and this is the failure of modern women. You are not gonna be able to take a back seat. You're not gonna be able to take a back, a second place trophy and let your men lead in the front. But go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna continue.
A lot of our mothers, although they were more on the submissive side, we don't talk about the abuse that they were dealing with at the hands of the men back then. Right? Because they didn't have any resources to say, you know what, I'm going to leave this abuse. I'm going to leave, whether it's emotional, mental, abuse. I'm not really being loved. I'm just being provided for, but at what cost? So there is that balance. It's not this or that. It's this and that. So a lot of times people want us to go back to our
bullshit about abuse. She needs to stop that bullshit about abuse. Okay, 67 to 68% of the Black community, women are the aggressors in domestic violence. Women are not these little violets in the Black community. Oh, he's just beating the shit out of a lot of y'all giving those hits too. It's rare that a man's just gonna come out and just beat your ass. Okay? A lot of you
Hey, Charles, can I say something real fast?
Go ahead.
I think it's important for you to tell the viewers how you know that. Now, I know how you know it. But a lot of people will say, "Oh, he's making up those numbers." Tell them your expertise, so they know that you're not making this up.
I've been a police officer for 15 years. I've read these statistics. I've read these facts. I've answered these calls. You cannot say you're afraid, but you're jumping in the man's face. Come on now.
There you go.
You cannot say that I'm abusing. I'm being abused. No, abuse is only when you can't hit the hardest. That's it. That's what abuse
I like that. I'm gonna steal that, Charles.
Go ahead, as long as you give me credit. Abuse is only credited. Abuse is only credited when you can't hit hardest and last. That's it. You're not saying it's abusive when you threaten to kick the nigga out the house. You're not saying it's abusive saying you're going to take him downtown for child support every fucking thing or get a raise in it. You never said it's abuse when you're going to threaten him to get your homeboys, your brothers, or your ex-boyfriend to whoop his ass. You never even say it's abuse when you call 911 and get the police sick on him. So stop that bullshit, but go ahead.
Well, there's a special soundbite for this occasion.
Men are here to serve women. I truly believe this. This is my belief system, and I'm sticking to my belief system. And I think Black women deserve to be served.
All right. And here's the reason why you're a failure, because you don't have any men around you with that doctrine. Go ahead.
All right, let's continue.
The women back in the 40s and 50s. I don't want us to go back there in all ways, because we were not treated equally as far as human beings. I don't think men and women are equal from the same. I think we are both equal human beings, but even God created us to where we are different, and our differences is what makes us drawn to one another. But I have no problem with a woman being in business or being a successful woman. It's how she does what she does. That's why I trademarked the feminine CEO. That means I'm a woman doing business, not a businesswoman. A businesswoman puts the business before the woman. So that's what I teach my women, that my tribe, that go ahead, go make your money, but understand these alpha men, these protectors, providers, these men that don't want you to go 50-50, although you're successful and you became self-sufficient for yourself, that type of man don't need you for what you're selling them.
Right.
So now that you understand this, what are you going to do to become more of the divine feminine energy woman? They don't want to do that part because to them it feels weak. But you're coming to the table saying, I want this high 6, 7, 8 figure earning man. And when I ask you what you bring to the table, the first thing you name is your degree. I know how to cook, all these other stuff that they don't care about. Men with money, men with means don't care if you really, you can cook, that's fine, but they can hire a chef. Everything that you are saying that you can do, they can hire somebody to replace what you do. So when you move the corporate ladder or go get successful in your business, that does not mean you don't be the woman. And a lot of times, especially our men, they say they want this type of woman, but they don't create an environment for that woman to actually be. because they're so
Okay.
used to doing. When they say, I want a strong woman like my mom, well, what was your mother's quality of life? Did she work 4 and 5 jobs? There's no way I could be with a man that wanted me to work every day, take care of the kids, and be his sex kitten, his sexy vixen, his confidant, his peaceful place, and all of those things.
Mhm.
So that's why I tell women, you got to decide on what kind of man that you want and understand not all of them, but the majority of that kind will have a certain criteria that they look for in a woman. So if you're looking for a high 6, 7, 8-figure earning man, please understand he don't need you for your degree. He don't need you for your good credit. He doesn't need you for those things.
Yeah, let
Can
me
you?
ask you. So I totally agree with what you're saying. These men who are making, 6, 7, 8 figures. But it
Mhm.
seems to me that if the average black man, let's say in the United States, is making, let's say, $45,000 a year, then the black men who are making 6, 7, and 8 figures, those are very few in number. How is it that all this mass of black women can get these very few black men at the top?
They can't. And the reason why, this is the reason why I use those 7, 8-figure men, because they don't come to me for the $40,000, $50,000 a year men. And there's some great guys, because I always tell them, they're like, I want a high value man. I said, what's your definition of a high value man? Immediately they start with the money and the success, right? I'm like, there's a difference between a high value man and a high earning man. You're listing a high earning man. A high value man can make $40,000, $50,000 a year and having character, integrity. He can have spirituality. He can be a good protector and provider. And when your feminine energy behind connects with him, your job is to amplify and multiply. And at the same time, he will go out and dominate in the world. And now next thing you know, he making $200,000 a year. But nobody wants to start right there. But these are normally the women that, now I will say this, there is a caliber of woman that's supposed to start at the 6, 7, high 6, 7, 8 figure. She understands her position, right?
Yeah.
That's not the majority.
Right.
That's
And so
not the
one of the
majority.
first things that you mentioned in your post was the unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Now, I think women can do a lot of things that can improve their value, right, to men. And you mentioned one when you first got on, we were talking about the weight issue. Wow,
Yeah.
for a man, just you can't even, as a man, I can't even start a conversation about a woman's weight, right? But you would think
Yeah.
that you as a woman could be able to broach that. But it seems to me that even if you tried to get black women to lose weight, let's say a black woman is 250 pounds, you try to get her to lose weight, it seems like you're going to get some pushback on Facebook and IG and things of that nature. What is that coming from?
Well, here's the thing. Like, what I do is cause them to look in the mirror. So they come to me for this higher 1 to 10% of black men is what they come to me for. Now I hang out with those men. A lot of those men are single, right? And I get to hear, because what people didn't know, behind the scenes for the last 10 years, I've been the relationship dating coach to a lot of your favorite male celebrities. So I'm around them all the time. I just didn't push that because that was not my focus. It kind of happened by accident. And so now they're coming and even speak from that level of man, right? The reason why I always use the 6, 7, 8-figure man and I don't really touch on the average guy is because I want women to see what they're asking for. Meaning,
this is the best part.
These guys that y'all looking for, they don't want red hair.
Talk about
They
it.
don't want blondes. Your chocolate is me. That's not what they want. They don't want long fingernails. They don't want a lot of different colors. Pink, neutral colors is fine. They don't want all of the extra eyelashes and all of that stuff. Now, right? So when I make them have to look in the mirror at what they're asking.
Go ahead.
That 45 seconds is worth the entire 6 hours of the lead attorney's live stream. And I'm gonna tell you, we're not going to agree with everything that she says. We're not going to agree with everything that each other says here on this panel. But she is so. I just did a video on this. Chaos. I think I was talking to somebody else today. Said they're going to do a reaction to it on the boiling frog syndrome, and just slowly, black women have started, completely changing the way that they look. And I think it comes from a place of self-loathing, but it doesn't matter why it happened. It matters that it has happened. But yeah, dudes of value. I had a conversation with my mom not too long ago, and I was like, Mom, do you remember me ever coming home with a woman or a girl, like when I was living at home and stuff, and introducing you to a woman that didn't have her own hair? And she was like, no. So it's in us, you know what I'm saying? And when you find it as a man, you feel like you are valuable, you're not going to accept that tomfoolery, man. So yeah, April is on point. And look, I know it may seem like I'm just caping for her, but she's saying the stuff more raw than most women say. She's not Moniquing it up like, hey, baby, sweet babies, you don't wear your bonnets in public. She's like, yo, these men don't want fat women with blonde braids down to the backs of their knees and, fingernails that are this long. They don't want that. So I applaud her for doing this. I really do.
Here's the trickery of it. And I agree with you 100%. Black women have went through this manifestation of hatred, and now it's on a physical plane. You be 250, 300 pounds with all this clownish, buffoonish hair, and thinking men, and get upset that men don't like you. I've told this before. The more weight you put on as a woman, the more you're gonna look like a man. So the men you want are gonna become even less and less attracted to you.
Bars.
Yep. When you look at a woman's face when she gains weight, it looks mannish. It looks like my face, thick neck. It reminds you of a man. Women are supposed to be much more slender. Like, how the hell is it that we got women in our community that are bigger than the men they are with? And if you ever notice, your size often correlates with your attitude and your disposition. It's bad enough Black women are known for their attitudes, but you got a super attitude when you're out of weight.
Because you're hypersensitive about it. Yep.
Well, my thing is this. I'm gonna play sound bites. Let me continue playing.
For versus what those men, I said, you got to understand, those men have a list too. I'm around them all the time. Like, I was in Miami a couple weeks ago, and they asked me to go to the strip club. I go to the strip club with some of the fellas because that's their environment. That's where they want to talk. So I'm sitting there, they're giving out dollars while they're telling me, but hey, Miss April, she broke my heart, right? So I'm able to hear the hurt, right? What ends up happening is when I'm sitting there having these conversations with them, these men have a criteria as far as what they're looking for. But I always tell them, but until your palate change, you can't attract that kind of woman anyway.
Right.
So fellas, it's a dual thing.
So do you think though, all right, let's get specific though, and let's talk about the weight, because that seems to be a very big issue.
That's what I was getting to.
Oh, sorry about that.
I was getting to. So I'm out, people seeing this, right? And these women are asking me, oh, can you hook me up with this or that one? I have to be honest, you're not small enough.
Wow.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm very blunt with it, because the men that they're asking me to find and where do they hang out at, I have to tell them this is not what they want. I said, you got to understand, a man of that caliber, that means he's driven. That means he's a hunter. That means legacy is important to him. That also means he wants a woman that he can take around his colleagues and family. And it also means that you don't understand that a man gets major props for the type of woman that he has on his arm. Beyonce said, and upgrade you, take me just to compliment the deal, meaning her presence complements the deal, because people are looking at the business meeting. If he got her, he must got something going on. I need to sit down and talk to this man. Even if it might not even necessarily be true, but it's the perception.
Yeah.
So when I have to talk to them about that, I'm like, in your mind, you're looking at your accomplishments saying, I deserve this. But that man will take a waitress that a woman that keep herself together. Not saying everybody got to be a size 6 or 8 like me or size 2. You can even be a size 12, 14 and keep it together.
Yeah.
It's all about.
Wait. Hold on. Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. Wait. A size 12 and 14? No. A woman that's too big. The only message I give to this, ladies.
She belongs to the streets.
You must be thin as possible. Size 6 for black women should be the moniker. No bigger, no less. If you're skinny, you don't have to worry about it. But if you have problems losing weight, you need to be 6 at least. Dress size 6. Anything beyond that, I'm gonna say this is where you need to go.
She belongs to the streets.
And I will clap my hands, say that's where you belong. I'm gonna continue.
How you are put together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he'll take her making $10,000 a year because she knows what it means to be a woman.
Exactly. So what's the pushback then to losing the weight? Is it laziness, or is it the fact they feel like they can just do it at size 25? Is it interesting? You know,
It's delusion.
What? You said they didn't want to lose weight because it's his delusion? Is that true, Abe Mason? Or is it laziness? Fellas, since you're on the panel, have you ever been around a woman that's really lazy?
Yep. Been married to one.
Yep, quite a few.
Oh, wait. I see somebody in the chat room. Wait, what's this?
That's Kareem. Hey, Kareem.
Size 6.
A size 6 is
No, because as you age, you gain weight. Bullshit. Let me tell you why. Because as a man gets bigger or anything, how long it takes a man if he's dedicated to drop the weight? Mostly 3 to 6 months.
4 months.
3 months if you really go hard.
3
at
to
90
6
days.
months.
Yeah.
So when I hear every time I say it's not really it, the first thing that comes to mind is you're lazy. Lazy.
I'll say this. A lot of women will lose weight if they change their diet.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yep.
A lot of women in our community are addicted to food. They have an addiction to food. And for some odd reason, they cope with food. Girl, let's go out. Let's do this. Let's go out. Let's go eat. They take pictures of the damn food all the time. And it's so exercise is something because they want to make an excuse. As long as you got a big set of titties and a fat ass, you're good. Nobody cares that your weight is the circumference of North Africa. Nobody cares if they think that you're not supposed to care because their fingers look like sausages. Now, there are some rules to the exception, yes. But at the same time, we cannot say that every woman that's 200 pounds is going to be chosen by the upper echelon of men or even the mid-tier men.
Can I say something? And Chaos, I sent you a private chat. I do need to get ready to run. But I want to put up Kareen's first message.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the issue that we have, and I want you to really look at the verbiage of what's written here. And Kareen, I am not beating up on you, but I'm just making a point here. You say size 6 is not realistic. That is absolutely false. It is realistic. Even at 5'9", you can be a healthier weight for your size. This is the modern psychopathy, the psychopathy of the modern black woman. That and we talk about, April just said it, delusion. So not only is it, I think the delusion precedes the laziness. If you don't think that there's an issue, Charles, I'm sure you come across people that are alcoholics. You've met people that have gone to AA and stuff like that. The first thing that you have to do, the first thing on the road to recovery is to realize that you have a problem.
It's
right?
The acknowledgement of it.
Yep. The acknowledgement. You got a problem. Kareen, that mindset, you're not even acknowledging that it's a problem. And when you're in that state of mind, any excuse will do. My question to you is this: on my channel, and I don't want to promote chaos on your channel, but we talk about being mission focused and results driven. I'm curious how your results are with that mindset. And you may be the exception, the outlier. You may have the perfect man, but I wonder that by and large, how other women that think like that, what their outcomes are. Because here's the bottom line: just like you want what you want, we want what we want. And if you're talking to a guy that's in the top 20% of earners, if you're talking to a guy that's at, I think at 6'2", I'm in the top 3% of height, the height of men on the face of the planet, I get to pick. And it doesn't matter what excuse you're going to get. Think about it like if you were applying for a really good job that has excellent benefits, this is the job you want to retire from, and they say that you need a degree in mechanical engineering. And you go in with a degree in speech communication. You'll be like, well, I have a degree, but this is very specialized for what we need to do. You're going to get all the benefits, but I need you specialized, tailor-made for the job role that is being offered, and you simply don't have the experience. You are not built to be in this role. The cool thing is this: weight is something that you can control. You've tried it your way. I challenge you to try it the way that men are telling you that they want it, which is to actually go and do the work, change your diet, like Charles said, and get in that gym, put your money where your mouth is, pun intended, and get you a trainer and get with that trainer 3 days a week, and then go 2 days on your own and watch the results. See if that doesn't lead you to better results than what you're talking about. Because here's the bottom line: if this was my platform, Chaos, I wouldn't have even acknowledged her comment.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna. That's just me, because I'm not even gonna argue with you. Okay, cool. Keep thinking that. I'm tired of having that argument with women. Not gonna argue with you about your weight. I'm just not. Believe what you want to believe. It's been said over and over and over again. And if y'all don't want to listen, that is on you. That's what I got for you, brother. Charles, I sent you my email, man. Hit me up so we can.
I put mine in the back chat as well. Yeah,
I'm gonna copy that real fast.
Kareem's one of the good ones. It's just sometimes she's playing devil's advocate. Me,
I get it, and I'm not saying that.
And Kareem even said it. Like, size does matter. It does, because a lot of times we get women who are not even conscious of the mistakes they're making.
Right.
And when I look at this and I say, look, if you want to be successful with men, you need to listen to them.
Yep.
Stop listening to your girlfriends. Why are you going to listen to a bunch of single women on how to get a man? I've said this to so many of my coworkers. Why are you listening to your homegirls? I could get you married. I could probably get you engaged in a year if you listen to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indeed. That's
Chaos. I'm gonna jump out, brother.
All
Charles,
right.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Okay.
You too, man.
All right.
Go Ravens.
It's good seeing El Guapo, and we'll talk probably in 2022. I'm gonna let you do your thing, you know what I'm saying? And we'll keep in touch. All right.
Keep in touch, man. Don't hesitate to reach out. I know it's my busy time of year, man. I'm a little swamped. I'm gonna see if I can play this outro real fast. I know you're not gonna hear it, but I'm out, fellas. Peace.
All right, cool. Beautiful lies right there. Wonderful. And yeah, that's cool, Kareem. I respect that you're keeping it real honest. One thing in regards to the weight issue, and I'm gonna open up for those because only like next 15 minutes of this video, for those that want to leave any more results or comments of the stream. Health is wealth at the end of it. We always hear this notion constantly amongst our community, but just in general in Western nations. I know of a brother that deals with health and food all together, and I'm hoping that he has the physical book out, because once the book is actually out, for those like Kareem stuff, I'm going to probably have him back on my channel, so he gives a breakdown a little bit, what to do. You get me? Because a lot of people got to take the health in their own hands now. Don't expect what you buy out in the streets, the food and stuff, that's going to really be beneficial long term, and you're not really doing anything in regards to bettering your health with exercise. You're going to have to take a little bit more seriously. I'm just going to leave it on that. I'm just not going to leave no more snippets on that. So let's continue on with tape.
Where is that delusion coming from? What's the basis of it? Is it, a lot of women will say, oh, well, my best friend weighs 250 pounds and she's got a good man. Is that the source of, what's the source of the delusion?
The source of, we're not dealing with our emotions. See, a lot of women are overweight, and even men, because we're not dealing with the source. The source is emotion. Emotional eating, not healing yourself. Food has become your healer, right? When you're sad because it's the holiday time and you're alone again, right? What you do, you pick up the food and you eat. So we have to deal with the core issues. It's not, nobody wants to walk around just being overweight and knowing that it's causing them not to get the results that they want. So we have to really look at the deeper issue. So sis, what is the deeper issue? Let's talk about your childhood. I've had clients, Lee, that gain weight as a child and still carrying the weight in their 50s because they gained weight as a child because they were being molested by their fathers. So they felt like if I become overweight and, disgusting looking, this is what they would say, then he would leave me alone. Not realizing you're in your 40s and 50s now and you're still carrying the weight, not just but the mental and emotional weight from what you did back in the day. I understand it. But we got to let it go. And also having unrealistic expectations. A lot of women think that because they can bring to the table what a man can bring, that makes them quality. And it doesn't. It doesn't qualify you for that kind of man because you're not studying him. I always studied the man that I was with, because at the end of the day, if I'm saying I'm going to be a woman that makes the house a home and I'm still run my businesses, but my main job is being his wife, I need to study like I'm in a college course, this man.
Yes.
Because when I study him, I can give him what he needs, and in return, it keeps my life light. It keeps me still going to the spa. Because I go pick flowers, Lee, and I go to the strawberry farm and pick strawberries, but I can still run my businesses. But it keeps me light. It keeps me fun. It keeps me youthful. It keeps me living a very sensual and sexual life because I don't have that weight. Right.
And when it seems to me, when you say, you study him, what that sounds to me is you're putting forth effort. Right. Yes. And when a woman doesn't go to the gym, there's not a lot of effort. When a woman doesn't even want to make you a plate, it seems like some type of conservation of energy where they just don't want to put forth any effort. Were you seeing that in some of your clients?
Yes.
That they didn't want to put forth a lot of effort to get the man that they said that they wanted, that they said was the priority.
Right. That's what they do. And what's interesting is the list, it's almost like an entitlement, Lee, is what it is. And it's like, okay, sis, I understand. We have been raised as women that we are the prize and all this wonderful stuff. And I get it. And I believe it. However, there's a certain thing called reciprocation. Okay? It's something called taking care of your man too. A lot of women don't even know how to court a man while she's dating him.
Right.
They don't know how to do that. And as soon as I say court, ain't nobody chasing no man and blah, blah. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with paying attention. Like, there was somebody I was seeing. We were on the phone and he was telling me, we were talking about something. He said, April, one day we need to play some Monopoly. We need to, some sock 'em boppers, the little fun game. We need to play that and whatnot. Well, out of the clear blue, I mailed him the sock 'em bopper game. It cost me $19.99 on Amazon. Women would say, I can't believe you bought him nothing. I just tapped into his little boy. I just let him know that I heard him. I just let him know that I cared enough to stop my day to put an order on Amazon for something as simple as sock 'em bopper game from his youth. It was that simple.
Yes. Let me ask you this, because a lot of men, it seems like if we mention anything about anything, it's either we're shaming women or we're not being sensitive, we're not understanding where women are coming from. But if you are talking to a man and he's not getting a lot of cooperation, would you suggest that the man communicate to the woman and saying, hey, I want this or that? Or do you think it's kind of there's not much that a man can do when women have this type of mentality that they're really not going to put forth a lot of effort in their relationships? I guess what I'm asking is, can a man say anything to get women to put forth more effort? Can he communicate something to these women so that they will put forth more effort on a consistent basis? Not a one-time thing on this Tuesday, but week after week, month after month. Is there something a man can say to get the woman to click, to say, hey?
And listen to the answer to this, people. Pay attention, ladies, and pay attention, gentlemen. Listen good. Listen good.
That's funny. One of my friends asked me that about a girl he was dating a couple of years. He said, hey, what do I get to get her to change? How do I get her to change? What do you do to get a woman to change? I said, oh, that's easy. He said, well, what do I say? I said, you don't. You get a different woman. That's more collaborative. You don't.
Is there something a man can say to get the woman to click, to say, hey?
That's funny. One of my friends asked me that about a girl he was dating a couple of years. He said, hey, what do I get to get her to change? How do I get her to change? What do you do to get a woman to change? I said, oh, that's easy. He said, well, what do I say? I said, you don't. You get a different woman.
They're really not going to put forth a lot of effort in their relationships. I guess what I'm asking is, this is not a one-time thing on this Tuesday, but week after week, month after month. Is there something a man can say to get the woman to click, to say, hey?
That's funny. One of my friends asked me that about a girl he was dating a couple of years. He said, hey, what do I get to get her to change? How do I get her to change? What do you do to get a woman to change? I said, oh, that's easy. He said, well, what do I say? I said, you don't. You get a different woman.
Charles, you there? I don't know if you're asleep. Charles Faulkner? Yeah, I just heard that. And then straight to the woman's mouth. 46-year-old woman telling you fellas, personally, and the woman's not giving what you want and is not doing what she's supposed to be doing, you get a different woman. Now, I'm not sure if many women's gonna really tell these you dudes this, rather you whatever pill you're on or you're a modern black man or whatever. Not much women is gonna tell you this on the average. Hell, they're not gonna have this conversation. Why? Because they want you to put with their shit, for lack of better terms. And it makes perfect sense why they're not willing to change, and you're trying to ask advice. What kind to get this woman change? Remember, when you come across some women that are very problematic and you're in that very lengthy relationships, the only thing you can do is and come to realize is that she needs to do and be placed in one thing and one thing only, fellas.
She belongs to the streets.
Because if you're not sending back where she belongs on the average, this is the only thing that holds into your future. Hold on. Oh, sorry. This is your future if you're not careful, gentlemen.
Men are here to serve women. I truly believe this. This is my belief system, and I'm sticking to my belief system. And I think Black women deserve to be served.
That's why you will not go. You will never let her go. Because you have a certain thinking that was engraved in you for decades. And if you want something different, you leave her alone and get a different woman. It's that simple. And I think what April Mason said was well said. Let's continue.
That's more collaborative. You don't. You don't, because a relationship has to do with two people giving the best of themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't change them. You go get somebody else. And that means, fellas, that you got to start picking better women. That plays a part too. Get off of the beauty and the booty all the time, because you got to understand, you can get caught up in that. And what I saw with a lot of my male clients were, they liked the aesthetics of these women, but they wanted her to have this other type of more home, traditional type of mindset. And that's not what they had. I may have to leave y'all.
No
Are you?
problem.
Hello.
I'm about to turn on the Peachtree Street right now. So
Okay.
I'm there in like 1 minute.
All right, darling. I'm on my way down.
Alrighty, I'll see you in a moment.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, I had a nail on in the car today, and y'all, if you're gonna get a Tesla, you gotta have some money, because them Tesla tires is expensive.
Shout out to the Tesla. Listen, April, thank you so much for coming on and speaking
and
to
but I
us.
want to answer this. I want to answer this
Oh
question.
yes, please do. Please
One
do. Please
question.
do.
Everybody keeps saying, but April, she's not married. She's not married because I didn't want to be married.
Mm.
See, there's a difference between somebody itching to get married and a woman that's developing herself for herself first. Then she goes out and get married. So y'all think that because I'm not married, that what I teach don't work, or that something must be wrong. No, I'm just a woman that understands I have the pick of the litter. See, because I know what most women don't know at 46, right?
Yes.
And number two, I decide when I want to get married. And I think when people stop putting a time clock on it, and when women.
Hey, Charles, you heard that? I don't know if he's muted.
That's called bullshit, because men are the gatekeepers of marriage, not you.
Yeah.
So she's not going to get married to a guy on her level. She's going to get a builder nigga. That's what she's going to get. That's what she's going to get. That's what she's used to. All them women, look at that hubris, look at that arrogance. What man is going to be willing to argue with a woman like that? Especially long term. Crazy as hell. Crazy as hell.
And the funny thing, and let me keep playing because she's going to explain more about it. One thing, if you catch what I said earlier, Charles, that a lot of dudes complain about how they try and fix or restructure their woman, or whatever the case be. She tell you personally, don't, you get a different woman. You get it? So I don't know if you caught that, but let's just keep playing.
Learn to say, let me become a dope woman for myself. So that puts me in a position to where I have learned enough and understand about who I am and know how to be a woman. It puts me above all other women because they're not going to be doing that. So a woman being married is not a measure of her value. What makes her valuable is the wisdom, is her femininity, is her understanding what it means to be a woman and stop trying to do a woman. And do things for a man. There's nothing that I can do for a man to make him stay. It's what I'm being to him. Most women don't know the difference between a wise woman and an unwise woman. So I don't have to go out and get married to prove that and I'll tell you this, I became an empty nester 3 years ago, and Leah almost had a nervous breakdown because I knew how to be the mom. I knew how to be the businesswoman, the coach, the entrepreneur, all of those things. But I didn't know who April was because April's identity was wrapped around being the mother. And so I had to take some time to figure out what I wanted, because what I wanted now wasn't what I wanted when the kids were younger. I was looking for more of a father figure. Well, I don't need that. My kids are 27, 25, and 23.
Right.
I don't need that anymore. So when people equate what you're not married.
Was all her kids by her ex-husband?
Yes, she was only married one time, from what I'm hearing.
Why would you look for all that in other men when you have one to begin with? You couldn't have done all this shit while you were married. You couldn't have done all this shit while you were with somebody. You had to be set free, quote unquote, to do it. That's the ridiculousness of it. You see yourself in the mirror and say, well, you know what? Maybe I do need to get in better shape for my man. Maybe I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it goes to show, bro, that that women like this, and remember, she was teaching women for over close to a decade, if you recall, right? And this is what she teaches, right? And a lot of women reject that because they think almost like her, but don't got the same outcomes. She's very fortunate to be in circles of well-established men. to be fair and honest. And I think the reason why she was put in that position because she got married at the right time, and probably the man she married, very young, was well established. Can we agree, Charles Faulkner?
Of course, she's not
So,
an unattractive woman now. So 20-something years ago, she's way better.
And the reason why I say is because when she started her venture, it's only been a decade ago. How old was she back then? She was in her 30s.
Her 30s, her early 30s, her mid to late 30s.
Yeah, early touching mid 30s. Yeah. So when you hear her express herself, you know, entitlement, all this stuff, because she already go ahead.
It's one of those things where you see an old athlete trying to get a contract. That's all it is. Trying to get that last.
Trying to get last what? You went silent, Charles. I can't hear you. Say again. Okay, I think Charles went silent. So let me keep playing.
What you're saying is my value is I'm only valuable if I have a man by my side. This is what I try to teach women. The man is the added bonus to your life. Create a dope life and you have the pick of the litter. And once you got the pick of the litter, you can take your time vetting them. Because what happens is when women get into a position to where, oh, I'm a dope woman now, and they get access to the 1 to 10% of a black man, guess what they do? The first one that come along, they want to snatch him because they're not used to having that. Well, you haven't vetted him. You don't know if he qualifies yet. Right. You haven't looked at his life to see if it complements your life. So when you do get to a place where I am, you can take your time and say, you know what? I have 4 or 5 to choose from, and all of them are wonderful men. It's only about, now it's up to me to decide which one is the best for my legacy. Wow. Not just because I like you and I love you. Which one is best for the legacy? Which one is best for me to merge our lives together and love on each other? But we also understand we want to leave a legacy. Black people marry for love and strictly my emotions. I don't do that. I've learned from the others how not to do that. I've learned from white women that you don't marry somebody with potential. You marry somebody that's already doing what they do. Only black women are called gold diggers when they want a man that's successful. The others are taught that. So for me, it's more of, no, I've become a wonderful woman for me. And I've learned to enjoy her because it took a minute to really get out of just mom mode, that I'm more than a mother. I'm more than a sister and all of these other things. Yes. So now, you girl, settle it down now. Because I know what I can offer now because I went through the process. Once women start taking my courses, they always jump prematurely because what they do is they start seeing subtle changes. And it's like, oh, let me grab the first man to come along. No, rest in your change. Because you'll learn, you might start attracting them from what I teach, but you won't be able to keep them if you do not embody what a feminine woman is. You have your boundaries, you have confidence, you're not worried about other races of women. You are a dope ass woman for yourself first. And then you will, just like a magnet, start attracting quality. But you see quality men because you're filled with bitterness and emotional change that come, the pain that, because it's so important. But what happens once again, they start seeing a little progress and they jump. And it's like, but the first one out means to be treated nicely. Men opening your doors, getting in and out of the car, men being concerned about your day, men's patterns, efforts, consistency, and words lining up in your life. Don't just jump at the first one, baby. I worked so hard with you to get here. Wait for a minute, get a couple of them first, and then see what you like. See what you like.
Yes, and the wait is valid to a certain age. If you're in your 20s, and let's say you're finding yourself in your journey, then yes, you could probably wait a little bit to find which one you could deal with. But don't make this wait be very long and lengthy, because one thing we know with women, unfortunately, is they're very picky and they're never satisfied, unfortunately. And they will sit there. Some will make the first jump on the first thing good, but overall they're very picky. As you can tell now with this modern era we're in, there's a lot of women, and I mean a lot of women, very picky. That's why I'm never been pick. If you want to keep it 100, let's keep going. And if there's a poll place right there. Also, I'm going to put the link for those that want to give commentary to the stream you heard so far.
I hear you. I hear you.
It's one of those things that people don't understand, that women have masculine and feminine energy. We're talking right now. I'm in more masculine energy because we're teaching. But when I'm not teaching, I am definitely the vixen when I'm not teaching. So people don't understand the difference and the going in and out, because when a woman is focused and when she's lecturing, when she's teaching, she is in her masculine energy. People think being feminine is the color pink. And I'm going to do a whole series on the dark feminine energy. Dark feminine energy is not toxic. It's extremely sexy. We watch the dark feminine energy as examples of Angelina Jolie and Tomb Raider. That's some sexy dark feminine energy. So most people, especially Black folks, don't understand the difference. As soon as you say dark feminine energy, they automatically think it bad. No, Lee, I'll tell you this. I have a stripper pole in my bedroom. That brings out the sensuality and the dark feminine energy that allows a woman to flow in her sexuality. Women are out here having sex. They're doing the act, but they're not connected to themselves intimately because they don't know how. So now it's like, well, if femininity is the color pink, it's hair extensions, it's eyelashes, it's walking like this, it's talking like this. No, that's not what it is. It's a part of it, but everybody's come across differently. But most women that you see that are feminine women, when they're in the leadership position, they will interchange it between their masculine and feminine energy, because we need it. A woman that's all feminine would be horrible because she would have no backbone, right? She wouldn't be a good leader, an all feminine woman. No, she has to have some, as my grandfather say, some gumption.
Well, why does she need to be a leader though? You said if she.
Before Lee asked her about this leadership, the falsification of dark femininity, I don't know what the hell that is. I've been hearing that being spread around loosely, and to me, it's giving off succubus energy, if you know what I mean. Suck, then you bust. You suck, then you bust. Them type of Etsy's that will strain a man. And trust me, since April got the stripper pole, she is engaged in draining a lot of men. Don't be fooled, fellas. A lot of men. Most men, usually younger men, because like Charles said, she's dealing with a build a boot. I mean, most dudes that got it like that, they don't deal with this type of woman. Women are on their program, on the average. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's continue.
If she's all feminine, she's not going to be a good leader. But what is she leading?
Well, what I'm saying is, whether it's in the workplace, whether she's leading herself on her day to day.
Gotcha.
Let me make sure he's in the elevator. Are you down? Are you on the elevator?
No, I'm actually wondering, where is the elevator at? I'm walking into the resident.
Okay, I'm getting ready. I'm coming down right now. Just stay where you are.
Are you coming down personally, or are you bringing the vehicle?
No, I'm coming down personally because I can't bring the vehicle. All right, bye-bye.
I got you.
So yeah, so that we got to understand that, and especially for our Black men, I'll leave you with this: learn how to handle with care a feminine woman. Because a lot of our men are so used to having strong, independent women come through their lives, as well as strong, independent moms. When you come across a feminine woman, she's not busting windows out your car. She's not talking crazy to you. She calls you when she says she's going to call you. She put forth effort. Her patterns line up. She checks on your well-being. She encourages you. Learn how to heal your inner blue boy so you don't run from that. And a lot of our men they can say it, but if they've never experienced it, that kind of woman will be a trigger for them, because it becomes, wait a minute, she called me like she said she was going to call me. She's acting in a way that's kind to me. A lot of our men are not used to that. So they can say what they want to say all day, but work on receiving a feminine energy woman and start bringing your defenses down, because she's not there to hurt you. And how you know if she's there to use you or not, check to see if she has all her own stuff. If she has her own stuff, meaning she's very self-sufficient, but she's interdependent, She's not after you for your finances. She genuinely likes you. So that's one way that you can tell if she's just after you to try to make a come up on you. If she got her own everything and she's just genuinely kind to you and just like being in your company, stop looking at yourself, especially if you are on the lower top tier men in finances. Stop looking at yourself as saying, what she want with me? She wants you. She didn't ask you for anything. She just wants to be in your company. She likes your energy. Don't weigh what you're not against what you think she is because you feel undeserving. We deal with that all the time. Even my high 6, 7, 8 figure men. I don't know if she'll go digger. I said, baby, I'm looking at her and I did my research on her. She has her own stuff.
I like that tip about the own stuff. I've never heard that. I like that. I've never heard that. I like that.
Yeah. She has her own stuff. So she has her own and she's not looking to you for nothing. And she's still treating you kind and in a very feminine manner. And she's responsive to you and she's coming toward you. Man up.
I will say this though, these types of women do not typically go for, if a man is like, oh, I don't know if she'll like me for me and she seems too good for me. Most men aren't on that thing, because most women will not choose that man.
Well, because normally that man doesn't have confidence.
Right. So the woman isn't choosing him in the first place, right? So
but a lot of these men, they talk about the gold digger, but I'm like, you don't have no gold, baby. You don't. you ain't got no goal. But thank you so much for having me. It was good having this chat. But love is out there. We just need to switch. We just need to change how we're viewing it and asking ourselves, are we as dope as we say we are?
I hear you. Listen, thank you so much, April.
All right. Yes. It's simple, fellas. Confidence is the key. It is the key of life. And one thing that I take out of that whole conversation, some good and positive things. I think the information about, why she stopped dealing with women in regards to dating and teaching how to find and better themselves, because the average woman today or the modern woman is not ready for that because some are broken. And they could fix themselves. And that's simple. That takes less than a year if you go hard at it. Now, one thing she gave some and spit some game for the fellas to let know, saying that you got to be confident if you're going to put yourself out here in this dating scene. Where you think you're going to be dealing with what they call a new word they call 304s. I don't know what that is, but okay. You guys still put yourself out here. And as a man, like always, if you can put yourself in the best position of power, even better. Because your options got to spread out. So you can get the best quality woman that fits you. And like she said, the woman might not be a super 8 or 9. It could be maybe average. And she appeals and keeps herself enough that will, entice you. And there are some women out there for everybody, but like I said, you got to make a decision as a man. Now, I put the thing for people that want to call up and come up for their thoughts and opinions. I've created a poll, and I'm not sure how many people did answer the poll. As I'm looking at the poll now, let's look. Okay. I should have did this earlier, but the timing was not right at the time. I would say, and what I've taken out of all this is that, the end part of the dark femininity and the falsification. To me, like I said before, there's no such thing as dark femininity. I hear a lot of women that's teaching advice or teach women how to so-called level up or whatever about dark femininity. But anything that's considered dark can be evil if not used right. And because we have a large group of males today that are simps, beta males, what you want to call it, they will, in my opinion, will flock more into this so-called thing we call dark femininity to certain women. Hell, look at it. Most of these dudes you hear them talking about these women that's on OnlyFans or all that, they are exuding dark femininity, or like I call falsification of dark femininity. I don't know. But let's be honest. These women can have or attain things without any significance from men, especially the dollar bill or any form of resource from a man. If a lot of men pull back just the resource enough, these women are going to have to eventually come in line one way or the other, regardless of how many government systems they got out here. And trust me, the government systems will subsidize any woman in America, no matter what type of job they're working. It is what it is. And you should not be getting in your feelings, fellas. You got to really know the environment and know how to operate accordingly. That's your only survival moving forward. So let me end the poll here because let me see what. Oh, wait. We got another one. Someone else vote. But we're going to end the poll now because let's see the results. And I kind of like the results now from what I'm seeing right now. As it finalized, we're seeing half and half. Not many people voted, but it looks like the message was very well received, which I expected. I learned a lot. I hope you did too. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. And I guess no one is going to call in to give their response to what they have heard and seen. I'd like to give a shout out to El Guapo from Beautiful Lies. Check him out on YouTube. Also, check out my also good friend Charles Faulkner Jr. on YouTube as well. Two Baltimoreans, two well and unique content creators that put out content that matters for men, especially to better themselves. I highly recommend you guys that's looking for advice or what we call improvement of what to do. Go check those two brothers out. They sure could help you in your journey, especially a young black man. And I think that's pretty much it. I think this is pretty good and fair. And like always, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to Chaos Reign channel. Hit the red button and hit the top bell for notification for uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Reign channel. Also, oh, and I forgot to say this. If you go to my channel now, and you look at the About section, I have now put my Twitter and my Discord. If you want to add me on Discord, a message or whatever, we could chop up on Discord. And you can hear some of the recordings here on YouTube, on podcasting, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, etc. Those there. And hell, maybe down the line, moving forward, I might just create a Patreon, for other things that, I might go, if I can't go hard on YouTube, maybe I'll go hard over there, We shall see. We shall see. But I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and also, I forgot. Oh, my apologies. You can also add me as a friend on Facebook. I'll probably put that in the description as well. So I have many links where you can contact me, and if you want to do interviews on the call show, please let me know throughout the links I presented from my About section and the description of this stream. But like always, thank you for listening to this stream, Oh, and also, I would like if y'all would leave a comment. I want to hear from y'all, your thoughts and opinions of this stream. It will be well appreciated, like always. But until next time, people, you know the drill. You know where to find me. The chaos reigns.